Okay, guys, everybody, I'm back. Like I was saying, I would be on here talking about spiritual things. Um, the last time I was on here, I was talking about the matrix. What is the real matrix, basically? And so I got to the part where babies are being born, but they're born in sin. The babies are being born in sin because Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So now the babies that's coming forth, or the human beings are coming forth through the matrix, which is the womb of the woman. The babies are coming forth, but they're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Okay, because the matrix has been basically tainted by what she ate, basically. Or what they ate, I should say. So it's messing with the seed, basically. And so God said, not just what she ate, what he ate, mainly what he ate, which is the same thing as what she ate. So basically, the seed has been tainted. So it ruins every seed that comes forth because it's coming from that man. It's been tainted already, and so they can't. It's like instead of producing, like I explained before, man is made up of three parts: body, soul, and spirit. Instead of producing body, soul, and spirit human being, it's producing more like a body, soul, and a dead spirit human being, or a body and soul human being. And the spirit part is not functioning or not there. I mean, the spirit is there, but it's like it's dead. It's like it's not functioning. It's like it's cut off. And so God looks for a way to come back in and get that spirit part working again. Excuse me. Kind of like if you had a computer and it got a virus, and now certain parts of the computer is not working because it has a virus. So then God is looking for a way to put a virus protection in there to get rid of the virus. Okay. So, well, he's not looking for a way. He already knows how to do it, but you know what I mean. So basically, so before Adam and Eve have any kids, they ate off the tree. God said, "What?" He comes walking through the garden. The voice of the Lord walking through the garden, which is Jesus. And he says, "Adam, where are you?" He said, "Well, I hid among the trees. I was scared because I was naked." Okay, fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. First thing Adam said, "I'm scared." I was scared, so I was afraid, basically. And so I hid amongst the trees. Him and Eve was hiding amongst the trees. He hid because we were naked. And God was like, "Well, who told you was naked? Did you eat from that tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" And so he says, "Well, the woman you gave to be with me, she gave me to eat, and I did eat." Now, and then he's like, "Woman, what have you done?" She said, "Well, the serpent beguiled me," which means he tricked me, and I ate. Okay. And then, before I get to the serpent thing, let me go back to these two parts right here. Most people say, well, this is the blame game. You ask the man what happened, I'm blaming it on the woman, it's her fault. And then you ask the woman what happened, oh, it's the snake's fault. They said, we always want to play the blame game. They're not blaming each other. They're basically telling God what happened. He said, the woman you gave me some food, and I ate it. Plain and simple. What happened? Woman, what have you done? Well, the serpent tricked me and I ate it. She's telling what happened. They're telling God the truth about what happened. Okay? This is not the blame game, but a lot of people will create a doctrine out of it and try to say, well, he's blaming it on the woman. And then, the woman, a lot of women want to blame the man, it's his fault, and everybody want to talk about whose fault it is. God didn't say it was his fault. God didn't say it was her fault. Okay? So he turns to the serpent. And he don't even ask the serpent what happened. He said, okay, well, because of what you did, you're cursed now. Basically, he cursed the serpent. He said, on thy belly you should go. In other words, the serpent is doomed to crawl on his belly for the rest of his days. Okay, and a lot of people turn that into a doctrine and say the snake lost his legs. He used to have legs, and he lost his legs, and and that's why he's crawling on his belly and what have you. There's no proof that he lost legs. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really tell you that the serpent lost legs, but if you go with this doctrine, this is how this right here, this part right here is just me imagining it. So don't say this is what the Bible says, because this part right here is not what the Bible says. The Bible says that God told him he's cursed. He got to go on his belly. He's gonna crawl on his belly. He's gonna eat dust. What have you. What I'm saying, this is what I mean by my part is, this is how I imagine the serpent to look if it had legs, okay? I imagine it to look much like, of course, having reptilian style legs, because he's a reptile. So I imagine him have maybe about the size of a Komodo dragon, you know what I'm saying? And, legs, reptilian style legs like a Komodo dragon, style legs or whatever. But I'd imagine them to be much longer legs. Okay? Well, I imagine him to look kind of like a reptile styled, like the mantis, basically. You know how the mantis stands up? And it's got those real long legs that it can, reach out and grab, and the long legs at the bottom that look like he can jump, and stuff like that. I imagine have the long legs like that, but be a reptile with long reptile legs like that. That's how I imagine it to look. And then of course, God takes away the legs, and so it's just the body part slithering around. But if it didn't lose its legs, then I imagine it to be a Komodo dragon. Basically, I imagine it to be a Komodo dragon, and God. But still with longer legs though, and I imagine that God shortened the legs and so that it crawls on its belly, like it does now in today's time. But the Komodo dragon is not called a snake, or as far as I know, it's not called a serpent. So it may not be the Komodo dragon. But so I'm looking toward the losing the leg part, but there's no proof that the snake actually lost his legs, okay? So I kind of picture it to be like the mantis with the long legs, but it'd be reptilian style, like a snake with long legs. And the long legs like positioned like the mantis, and everything. And then, lost his legs and it's just the snake part. I kind of picture it like that, but if he didn't lose his legs, then I picture it to be like a Komodo dragon still having legs. So one or the other is what I be picturing, okay? I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's how I picture it. That's how I think about it when I read the scriptures, and I think about the serpent standing there talking to the lady, talking to Eve. I picture it standing up like a praying mantis. And I picture it being her height or even taller, standing there talking to her. Okay? And then, being reduced down to where it crawls around like a lizard, or slithers like a snake, one of the two. So that's how I picture it. I picture it to be able to like jump and move around, like the mantis, like grasshoppers and stuff. They can jump real high and, go forth and do stuff, but then if he lost his legs, or if he got to like a Komodo dragon, which they can still kind of stand up and everything, but they pretty much crawl around on their, it's still kind of fast, but they can't do like the locusts and stuff and jump real far and, as far as their height and, and jump, 10 times their height or whatever it is. They can't do all that kind of stuff. And so that's how I picture it, basically. And so I don't know how you all picture it, but I'm just letting y'all know how I picture it. So now back to what the Bible's talking about. So basically, God has to deal with the matrix, basically. Remember, I told you the matrix is the womb. So God makes a promise, and he says to this serpent, I'm going to put enmity between you and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. And he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Okay? So God said, I'm going to bring something from the seed, between your seed and her seed, and he's going to bruise your head, and you're going to bruise his heel. Okay? So now, one thing I have to tell you all about this. Women and snakes don't have seeds. So when he says between thy seed and her seed, snakes don't have seeds. Women don't have seeds. They both have eggs. So you wonder, what seed is he talking about? Okay? And so I'll just jump down through time to the New Testament, and you find out that Jesus is the seed of the woman. Okay? Jesus comes in as the seed of the woman. So the whole time you see Satan trying to destroy the seed. Basically, when in Moses' time, you see him killing all the babies. In Jesus' time, you see him killing all the babies. He's trying to destroy the seed. He's trying to devour the seed, basically. In the book of Revelations, you see a story about a woman who's about to have a baby, and I think it's the enemies there waiting so it can devour the seed, devour the baby, basically. And so when it comes down to the end of it, the seed of the serpent turns out to be the dragon. Okay, it turns out to be the dragon. That's why I talk about the Komodo dragon. The seed of the serpent turns out to be the dragon. So I'm thinking, okay, dragons, and most people think, when they think of dragons, they think, fire-breathing dragon, they think, all that kind of stuff way back in the day, some big old dragon or whatever. And they think of what a lot of people would call, oh, that's an imaginary creature. It doesn't exist. But if you look up the Komodo dragon, you'll find out, yeah, that's a dragon and it's real, and it does exist in today's time. It does crawl on its belly, though, but it does exist. Okay, and the thing about it, and the reason why a lot of people don't know, they talk about the prehistoric animals, which a lot of people call dinosaurs. The Bible calls them dragons. Okay, and so we call them dinosaurs. But you think, wait a minute, the dinosaur and the dragon, they look different, Well, since you wasn't back there to see them, you don't really know what they look like. But if you look at the Komodo dragon, look at his head. It looked like a dinosaur head. So, I don't know where y'all gonna come up with that answer, but yeah. So, yeah, the dinosaurs was actually dragons back in the day. But we call them dinosaurs in today's time because they prehistoric animals, as they call them. And, the Bible calls them dragons. Okay, so, let's see here. Moving on. So you got the matrix being tainted, as far as all the babies being born are tainted because of the seed is messed up, because of what Adam and Eve ate. Of course, they got put out of the garden. God cursed the ground for Adam's sake, he cursed the ground. And for Eve, and so basically when Adam comes to get, the ground is the matrix, remember? So Adam comes to get things out of the ground that they need, and God is saying, okay, you got to do this manually now because the spiritual side of you is gone. So now you got to manually, you got to work hard by sorrow. You're going to be by sorrow and the sweat of your brow. You're going to get work hard to get this food and stuff, or whatever you need out of this ground. The ground is going to struggle to give you what you want. It's basically what God is saying. The matrix is going to struggle to give you what you want now because you pretty much push the spiritual side of you out. Okay? Same thing is happening with the woman. Now the woman's having sorrow when she's going to have a baby. So she's having a lot of pain when she has in her pregnancy. So basically, when it comes time, the man is going to have to work really hard and to bring forth what he's trying to get out of the ground. Now the woman has to work really hard. They call it labor. She goes into labor when it's time for the baby to come forth. Now she's got to work really hard. You know what I'm saying? He's digging to get what he needs. You know, to planting the seeds is not as hard. You do have to dig and stuff and plow up the ground and stuff and get it ready. Oh man, what are y'all doing? You do have to plow real hard to plow up the ground to put the seed in and get it ready and, you know, everything. But the harvest is harder than the sowing. It's harder to gather the harvest in. So, you know, the man's gonna have to do everything by the sweat of his brow in order to get food, you know, get what he needs out of the ground. The woman, she has to go into labor, and she's got to push real hard to get what she needs from the womb, from the matrix. So basically, you got one working the ground as the matrix, the other one's working the woman's womb as a matrix, and they both bringing forth what's needed, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Both of them going into, they have to labor to get this, you know. The serpent's labor is his legs don't function like they used to. So now he's got to crawl around on his belly. So he's struggling, you know, all the days of his life, you know, to do what he's trying to do. And that's why I talk about the legs being much longer, like the mantis and stuff like that, where he can jump around and stuff. That's why I talk about that, because when God cursed him, down to your belly, now you can't jump around like you used to. You can't, you know, go big lengths of distance and stuff like that like you used to. You basically, boom, on the ground, eating dust. And if you notice, the snake and the Komodo dragon, both of them have venomous bites, and both of them's tongue is forked, just like the snake's tongue is forked. The Komodo dragon's tongue is forked, and their tongues keep shooting out, placing that dust. So he said you should eat dust all the days you like. Their tongues keep coming out, that dust, eating that dust. I mean, they eat other things too, but you know what I'm saying. So that's the reason why I talk about the serpent and the Komodo dragon and stuff like that. But more the Komodo dragon when I talk about the end times, because the seed is the dragon, you know. But, you know, as far as the losing the legs part, you know, if it's that way, then I talk more about the serpent. But anyway, or the snake, basically. So anyway, it deals with the matrices of the serpent and of the woman. Okay, and so we come from the ground is cursed. So now the woman's womb has to go. She got to go through. The man's got to go through sorrow to get what he needs from the ground. The woman's got to go through sorrow or what you call labor. Labor, the man got to labor to get what he needs from the ground. The woman's got to labor to get the baby forth, bring the baby forth. And the serpent's got to labor to do everything, to get where he's going, to do everything he has to. And so, yeah. And so I want to tell you all that about the finishing up on the matrix part of the I'm drawing a blank right now. Okay, so basically, I want to let y'all know that much about the Matrix, basically. And I'm still going to be talking about the Matrix and stuff like that, but I'm getting on more into the things that we have to do and the things that we're trying to do, what we are here for on the earth, and things of that sort. So, you know, you go from Adam and Eve, and you begin to move on down through some generations. So since the video is getting kind of long, I'm gonna jump off right here, and I'll come back and let you also know some more about the real Matrix, or basically about spiritual things. And so, cause we have to know, a lot of people don't know why we're here. Why did God put us here on this planet? What we here for? Where did I come from? Who am I? What am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I going? You know what I'm saying? What am I capable of? Those are some questions we have to answer. So I'll come back next time and tell y'all some more about this, because there's a whole lot to it. Okay. God bless you all. Love you all. Bye-bye. I'll be back to talk about spiritual things. All right. Life is so much fun, and then you get to go to heaven. Y'all better come hear the truth. God bless. Bye.